What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit, the podcast where everyone's welcome to the table to share a good conversation, a great drink, and even better company, and a little bit of BS. So grab a seat, pour up something neat, and welcome to the show. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit. Today we are going to be finishing up our episode with Bourbon and Bar Book and the lovely couple Dolly and Michael and their app, the Bar Book. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and download that application. But this episode got so much more fun towards the tail end because I just kept drinking. And they're so fun. So make sure that you support them and show them love. Check out the show notes for all the details. But welcome in, and we're going to jump right back into it. Thanks, guys. What's something that you have experienced in real time and you are an advocate for? You want to stand on your soapbox and just be, hey, try this now.
All right, two drinks that I would say everybody should try. And again, you can pick your recipe, but two drinks everybody should try. Obviously, a real and solid and good, especially because we're drinking it tonight, old fashioned. So I think everybody should be able to try an old fashioned, because even if you don't understand the flavors of whiskeys and bourbons and rye versus, this, or Tennessee whiskey versus Kentucky bourbon, you don't understand any of that. An old fashioned is a good,
it'll change your life.
It will. It's a good introductory drink to the, world of whiskey. It softens it a little bit. It accentuates flavor if done right.
I'm gonna challenge you.
They pull out the soda gun, and then you just
what whiskey should they try neat?
Whiskey should they try neat? Oh,
I like pushing that. I like pushing that a little bit.
All right, so whiskey should try neat. Let's go with something that's available everywhere, something that's good, something that's mellow, pretty good. I'd say Russell's 10.
That's a good one.
I would say, that's a good whiskey that if you're going to try something neat, it's not too much bite. Try that.
Okay. Dolly.
It's a bourbon.
I'm
Cooper's.
whispering. Okay. So it's not a whiskey, but it's a bourbon. I like Cooper's. Have you
Cooper's. Yeah.
Cooper's Craft.
You've never heard of Cooper's Craft?
No, I said yes. Yes, I have.
I was about to say, wait a second. No. Okay. No. But if I was going to do a whiskey,
I would be unfit for my job.
No, that's what I was like, what? So this is where I say I was the wine person and Michael has converted me. So that's why I'm whispering when I was talking to him, like, hey, is that a whiskey or is that a bourbon? Because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Oh, you're never going to be judged here. We make mistakes all the time. Someone will write me and I filter those.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say every day, good whiskey.
Something that you say you feel 100%. I want you to try this.
I like, for someone who has my palate to where, I'm not trying to grow hair on my chest like you and Michael, like with the cast strength and all the other stuff. I like Angel's Envy Rye.
I love you both.
That's a great
you're both speaking to different sides of my day. The Angel's Envy Rye is fantastic. Why do you like it so much?
I like it because of the finish. It doesn't have that. It doesn't kick me in my face, right? It doesn't make my chest hurt. It's still got a little bit of a kick to it, but it's the flavor profile. And if you ever just take a little bit of Angel's Envy Rye and kind of like treat it like a scotch and just put it on your tongue and just kind of let it sit there, right?
Yeah.
Before you like, it just tastes really good. So that's what I would say.
It's a very smooth and softer rye, which is perfect
for me.
I mean, it's perfect for a lot of people. It's a great, like
I don't need the higher proofs. Happy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. We actually did a whole Angel's Envy excerpt. We talked about Angel's Envy Rye and how Angel's Envy, their approach has made whiskey less intimidating to a lot of people, because you do the rye finish, you do the port finish, you do the apple they do apple cider finish for their apple version. Then we have the Osaka one, the Japanese cherry blossom finish. Super hard to find, but still fantastic. All their finishes are great. They're doing stuff that makes people who have never tried whiskey attracted to whiskey.
Yeah.
So, and we've gone to the distillery. So you both should probably go together, because I know you're going separately, possibly, but go together.
It's on the list.
Oh, the doors are
I can
fantastic.
handle you going on the list though.
Oh, don't I'm going to tell you the dirty secret. Don't go on the tour. Just go right to the bar.
So
Go.
here's the problem, because we're
You-
being honest with each other. The reason why we have to travel separately is because I love this man right here. And if we do tastings all day, I'm going to start petting him,
And
Yeah.
what's the problem with that? What's the problem with that?
Yeah.
My
That might
fiance,
be a problem.
my fiance has pet me like during like I don't know what you're doing. I know what's happening. All right, so that was our question for another for the road. So during the development of the Zap, have you discovered any like hidden gems, something that you felt should be put on the map that wasn't noticed before?
Okay, I think we can speak for both of us when I say this, and I'm going to get the name wrong. He'll correct me. Fredericksburg, Virginia. Isaac Bowman Distillery. Correct? Isaac Bowman Distillery. And we've noticed that they are being the Bowman brothers. I wish we had a bottle that we could show you right now. But they are a hidden gem in Virginia. They are beginning to branch out in other states. We traveled to Tennessee recently, and we, everywhere. It's called the A. Smith Bowman Distillery.
A. Smith Bowman Distillery. Okay, so tell me about them.
And they are fantastic there in Fredericksburg, Virginia. They truly can compete with the national brands. They're just not known yet. And so what we have noticed that when we go out to bring that back up.
Yeah.
We've noticed when we go to other states.
Oh, Bowman Brothers. I've had most of their.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's A. Smith Bowman Distillery, but Bowman Brothers, Isaac Bowman, Mary Susan Bowman, they've got several bottles, but it's Bowman. And
I've had a couple of their bottles. Yeah.
Yeah, they are fantastic. And if you're ever in Virginia, I mean, you can walk right in there, and they, besides giving you the tour of the distillery and all the other stuff, they are so friendly and so nice. And I think their bottles are up there with national brands. But we're still getting the name out for them, and they're still getting their name out. But yeah, I think they are a hidden gem. And then this is where I'm going to look at Michael, and we've been drinking, so I apologize if we don't remember the name correctly. What was the one in near Williamsburg where it's based off of what was available when the Colonial showed
that's
up?
8 Shires.
Yeah, 8 Shires, right?
So I'll tell you the story of this brand. Another fun brand, because obviously we don't do a podcast, but we've ran into some great brands along the way. And
send them my way.
I will gladly do that. So 8 Shires Distillery is Williamsburg, Virginia. You're thinking Colonial Williamsburg and all that kind of stuff, right? And so they make whiskeys and beverages the colonial way, right? The exact way that they would have at the time of the settlers. I mean, I'm talking John Smith and all of that stuff, right? So as I'm sitting there behind the bar, or at the bar talking to these guys, and I notice that on the back shelf high up, they've got this small little green bottle. It's not quite a fifth, it's like a 375 bottle, and it's in a wooden crate, and it's got the little packing around it. And I asked the guys, what is that? Because you've showed me everything else, but you haven't shown me that. And so he brings it down, he shows it to me, and he says, I only got like 2 shots of this left. He said, but because you're here, we're gonna open this up. And we pour it, and we start to, let it breathe, and we talk. Come to find out, that bottle, it's called Jamestown 16 something or other. Anyway, that's not important. You can look them up. 8 Shires Distillery.
Can you tell Michael's been living in the South with me because he keeps going on and won't get to the point of the story?
I'm not at any of that.
But 8 Shires Distillery.
It's about the journey.
It is all about the journey. But so those guys are part of the Historical Association in Jamestown. And as they're clearing out Jamestown and kind of excavating and doing all the historical stuff, they find the original well from the original settlement. And then they dig the well out. And as they're digging the well out, they find pieces of glass from the original stills. Because what they used to do when a well was dry, they'd fill it with everything they had and just throw it in there. So as they're excavating, they're finding the pieces of glass that were the still heads from that still. So they pull those out, They call the glass company, who would have been the glass company back at the time, they have them remake them. Then they get down even further and they find water.
Yep.
So now they take colonial water, the water from the original well, they take the still head from that same time period, and then they order the grains from England to match the same grains that they would have had, and they produce a spirit using the same process, using the same grains, using the same methods, everything. And that's that bottle that they had on the shelf, which is kind of cool. Like I said, as a history nerd, I was geeking out.
But as a whole, they don't use modern stuff for anything that they make. So when they're making the whiskey, they didn't make a vodka back then because what was it? Something like one grain wasn't available, but they'll do gin, they'll do whatever. But if it wasn't available to the colonials and the settlers at Jamestown, they will not use it for how they make their alcohol, their spirits.
That's one of the most coolest, interesting things I never knew about.
Yeah. And so it was cool while we were there. And
it was a great little experiment to go and hang out with those guys. They made a cocktail for Dolly called the Bee's Knees, where they took their whiskey and added
gin. It was gin.
Was it gin?
No, it was whiskey.
Anyway, they added honeycombs and frozen honeycombs to it to chill and make their cocktail. And
so Bee's Knees has honeycomb in it, but because they are so true to, if it wasn't available then, we're not going to use it now, that the owner who we met has his own honeybees and his own honeycombs, and he pulls those honeycombs from the bees that he raises. And I don't know how you raise a bee or whatever, but it was just pretty cool.
So I've actually seen some of those videos where people like have beekeeping and all that, but that whole traditional sense of like making spirits and making all those, like, it's so interesting.
Yes.
I think that the Bee's Knees, I know the Bee's Knees, there was a traditional whiskey cocktail that involved like honey simple syrup, bourbon, and lemon juice.
Yes. But so Michael's mom also raises bees as well, and she gives us honey. I know, we're crazy. And
I love that. I'm not mad at I don't know. That face was not, it's crazy. It's, why do we not talk about this honey?
Yeah, no. And so the honey is so good. I'm spoiled. And so there was a day where I took bourbon and was mixing it with honey and, putting it over ice. And I literally am laying on the couch, 2 sheets to the wind. And he's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like,
it was medicinal, Michael.
Yeah, I was like, I've been making this cocktail all day and it's so good. And then he joined me because the Bee's Knees is a fantastic cocktail for people to try.
It's top tier. If you haven't tried a Bee's Knees, definitely look it up. It's one of my favorite cocktails. I think honey is so much better than a regular simple syrup. Mm-hmm. But I know, so I know that we're wrapping up kind of soon. I know you probably have a limited time here. So I know that we talked about the spirit industry. I know we talked about beers and all that. Just for anyone who's outside looking in, has there been a brewery that has stood out to you? That's something that also, because we talked about spirits, but for those who also drink beer.
So Michael can answer that question because I'm not a beer drinker. I'm not a beer girl at all. So
Michael, this is all you, sir.
No, I will. But hey, can we pause for your break for just a second? Because I want to make sure I don't lose you. I just got to notice that I need to plug my computer in.
Yeah, of course.
Give me 2 seconds.
I'll do a commercial break while you guys are doing that.
All right, cool.
All right.
Sponsor of Bourbon and Bullshit, Big Bang Boom
Arthur, you're so sweet.
Orlando's Burlesque Cabaret Entertainment.
What I do?
You're just a nice person. I like you.
Boom Cabaret and Foxy's
I try to be.
Follow us on Instagram at Big Bang Boom Collective.
Good.
Or join our VIP email list for info on
I have allergies.
www.bigbangboom.
Hey, we're in Virginia. Everything is blooming right now, so I completely understand it.
Oh gosh, if you only knew. Like, it's Florida, nothing ever. Guys, we are back. We're talking about fitness and the fact that most of us apparently have a lot in common physically. Go ahead, Dolly.
No, so what I was telling you is that we would compete with each other during our physical fitness tests. And, you guys are just very,
you guys is a lot of people. Like,
I'm talking to you, Arthur, and Michael. So
I just got here.
Yeah.
The male species.
Yeah. So in the old Army PT test, the sit-up event was equal, men and women. And so I always hold it over Michael's head that I can sit up him any day of the week, any time of the week. Because I still
he does not look pleased by it.
Yeah, he does not look pleased because I'm supposed to be the weak little girl that can't do any of this.
Because literally,
okay, choose your words carefully.
Literally, at that point in time,
choose your words
I'm
carefully.
going to say at that point in time, your entire body weight was the amount of weight I was lifting off my chest to come up every time.
Okay, so what I'm going to say to you on that is that you men in the Army always complain that the standards should be the same, and that standard was the same for sit-ups, and now you're still finding another.
What's the standard on bench for everyone?
Do what?
What's the standard for push-ups for everyone?
So the standard for push-ups are different between men and women. This is the old test.
What's the women one?
For me to get 100% score at my age, I had to do, I think, was it 48 in 2 minutes?
I'd do like 77.
No,
I was like,
you're about to make me curse.
No, it's like 77.
No, not your
always
age.
curse. You can curse on this podcast. You can curse.
No, I am as cursed.
It's like 77.
Okay, so, but for sit-ups to max, it was 72 in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
How many did you do?
Like 60.
No, you didn't. You stopped in
the
the 50s.
I would do that one.
You
specific,
stopped in the 50s.
Do you want me to go into
No,
why?
you don't need to go into why. You
that
stopped
one
in the
specific
50s.
instance, I stopped a little early.
Yeah.
But normally I would do
early.
60.
Why would you stop early?
Because
I was distracted.
He said that I distracted everybody, but we don't need to go into that. Let's talk about.
Oh no, I want to hear this love story. I want to hear about this.
Yeah, no.
Oh no.
No, we're good.
Michael, go ahead. Tell me.
We're good.
Tell me about the story.
Arthur, work with me.
I'm trying to, but I think that this is a really good story.
Work with me, Arthur. We'll tell you that story offline.
Oh, okay. Fine. So you said that the standards are a little bit different, and we talked about a little bit about that process and like kind of finding that physical like prowess.
Here's the great thing about here's the great thing about the military. I'm gonna do this because okay, so I am a lawyer, right? And I look at the folks that I went to law school with, and I look at just professionals across the spectrum. And one of the great things about the military, and that I'm very glad that I served, is that the military kept me in shape. You know what I mean? And so you see people our age who their knees hurt, their back hurts, whatever. And, I'm not trying to insult them. I got lucky that I joined an organization that not only cared about my mind, but cared about my body as well.
Yeah, which is fair, because I think that that's a big part of also, like, often I think people forget about the mind connection to the body. If I feel slow and sluggish and I feel terrible as a human being, my mind's going to not be right. Yeah. You're going to feel disconnected. There's a lot to be said about if I feel like I'm slow and frumpy and I'm not physically where I should be, that has a fatigue. That has an impact on overall how you feel as a human being.
Right. And the Army doesn't tolerate that, because I remember plenty of days when I had to do organized PT and I'm like, it's 5:30 in the morning. I don't want to get up and go do push-ups and sit-ups and run, but I've got to put this uniform on and go out there and do it, or I'm going to get in trouble. And
it could be 7 in the evening, and I still don't want to necessarily do any of that.
Yeah. Let's be clear. But, it's cold outside or it's too hot outside or whatever. And so I appreciate what the military gave me a lot more now that I'm out of it.
I'll tell you what, the fun part we had is we joke about competing, but you know that from college sports.
It's fun. It's fun.
Is the competition is what makes it fun, and that's what makes you keep doing it. And it's always like who can do the most this or do the most that, who runs faster than this person. Like just that little stuff gives you that little edge, and you're right. That's what makes it fun.
And we briefly talked about it offline about CrossFit, and I think for all the shit CrossFit gets, one of the things I appreciate about it is that it's almost a community where you compete against each other and you understand where someone else is strong, I might be weak. Where they are weak, I might be strong. Yeah. I remember multiple times I would compete against someone, or not compete. I would have a friendly competition against a friend, and it would motivate me. It's like, all right, I know he's not the best at weightlifting stuff, but he's really fast when it comes to cardio. So now I've mentally set a standard. It was like, I'm going to slow down my run. I'm going to do this. And you become like strategic with it, where you can have an even playing field. So I think even not necessarily in the vein of competition, but the vein of motivation, you can derive that from that. I think that's cool. I think that even you two just kind of competing against each other, having fun and poking fun at each other across like lines is really, really awesome to have as a marriage dynamic, let alone a competitor's dynamic. So,
well, it's great because you don't live with us, because I can tell you,
it's like the cool uncle. It's like the cool uncle. I could give you all the candy and then just go home.
The last time we actually worked out with each other, I still remember this. We're going to go on a 4-mile walk, and I walk really, really fast. Right.
Oh my gosh,
for my height, I walk really, really fast. I figured it was
you, Dolly.
I walk really, really fast, to where Michael literally looked at me and goes, "F it. If we're gonna walk this fast, I might as well run." And he left me. And it's the last time that we have worked out together, because like, I can't believe you left me. You went and started running, and this is supposed to be a walk. And he was like, "You walk so fast that it hurts to walk at your pace."
It does.
Because so I walk really fast, which is funny because I'm a slow runner.
For the record, the fastest mile walk, like there's official competition, 1 mile is 4 minutes and 31 seconds.
For a walk?
For a power walk. I wish I was making that up.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't even understand how that's possible to walk that fast.
I will look it up.
You don't even look it up. No, but what I'm saying is, like, we were walking.
I hate being wrong. That's why I want to look it up.
No, because the fastest mile is like what, 350 running?
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't want to no, but like
we don't want the snobs. We don't want the snobs hitting us up. You know that.
No. So Michael left me when we were supposed to be doing a walk, and I was like, "I'm never working out with you again. Like, just not ever gonna do it."
So my significant other and myself, I had her doing burpees and working out and hanging out with me and doing all that, and she got so mad at me. She was so furious. Well, she's like, "I love you and I hate you, and we're never doing this again." I was like, but
that's because you made her do burpees.
Working out.
Burpees
together,
are horrible.
I misspoke. I misspoke before anyone hits me. It was 5 minutes and 31 seconds
for a walk.
For a power walk. What is the world record for the 1 mile race walk? It is British Olympian Tom Bosworth race walked a mile in 5 minutes, 31 seconds, and 8 milliseconds.
That's crazy. Yeah, so don't complain about me walking ever again. I was
compared to an Olympian.
I couldn't run that fast, but I'm just saying that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but anyway, so the point of this is that Michael and I do not work out with each other because he can't handle my walk.
Oh God, that's a forced soundbite. God,
you don't have to use that one.
I mean, I don't know where I would, so that's fair.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's fair. So when you think about one of the questions I did shoot over to Michael, I don't know if Dolly, you got it, is how deep does your knowledge of beer, wine, and spirits goes? Is it an expertise? We kind of discussed that in the beginning, where Michael's much more of a casual, because I'm right there with you, Michael. This isn't a shot. Where Dolly might be like, "Hey, I pick up on these notes and all these things." Has there ever been such a disconnect between the two of you where you were drastically different on a spirit or beer?
Just spirit or beer or wine?
Wine is fine. I can, yeah, that'll work. Wine, spirit, or beer.
I don't think, okay, so I don't really care for beer. So I'm going to trust Michael's opinion on those types of things. I think spirits were a little bit closer. We kind of know each other, right? To where we can taste something and go, oh, yes or no. I think wine is where the biggest disconnect is because I've
Do you
just
have
been
one in
doing it.
question, or do you have one in thought in the back of your head?
Well, what I was going to do is give you the example of we went to a wine tasting, so it was a blind tasting, and you had to guess the grape, whether it was old world, whether it was new world, what did you taste?
Michael's
Yeah,
face.
right, right.
What the hell is a
And
new world versus old world?
right. And the
Can you tell
sommelier
everyone?
was
Yeah, can
pretty
you tell
impressed.
everyone what New World versus Old World is? Because I know obviously.
Well, no, I mean, we don't have that much time because your podcast is limited, but
I could bring it up.
the sommelier was pretty impressed to where I was like, oh, this tastes like this grape. And if it's this grape, it's got to be old world because this grape was only grown here and it's not grown. And anyway, so we just started going like down.
I'm actually really interested. Like, I'm not even being funny. Like,
I would never have understood any of this.
But Michael's my witness that we had this conversation. And it's only because when I met this totally cool girl, I will not say her name because I don't have permission, but she was from California and we met when I was in my 20s, and she introduced me to the world of wines. And she had this book, like we have the Bar Book about different spirits and cocktails and all this other stuff. She literally had a wine book and she introduced me to wines. And because when I was growing up, it was what Moscato, Riuniti, you name it, right? Like you're laughing, right?
Riuniti.
Yeah,
I love it.
Boone's Farm, all that other stuff.
I've seen Riuniti every time, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. And so, but she introduced me to wines, and she's the one that introduced me to everything about wines. And so I got to develop that. And then luckily through the Army, or gratefully through the Army, I was stationed in different places. So, I was stationed in Europe. So I got to go to the Bordeaux region. I got to go to the Champagne region. I went through Italy, I went through England, I went through Germany, I went through all these places and got to discover wines and develop my palate that way, right? So I think that's where the biggest disconnect is.
Michael, you and I have to go try all of that and get our products
you know what?
Michael's never met a wine that he liked.
Yeah, I would prefer if we go traveling through the Nashville and Frankfurt and the
Leesburg
Bardstown region, and check those out.
You might have lost me, Dolly. You might have lost me, Dolly.
But I'm not saying that to be snooty snotty, but when you get the chance to go to traipse through France and Italy and Germany, and then the other wines that people don't really drink a lot in Austria. And then when I was stationed in Israel, and Israel has some great Israeli wines, right? And then
really?
Yeah, especially northern Israel where the climate is drier.
That's why she has a palate.
And then we were at a restaurant and we had that Lebanese wine that we both loved. Like there's just so many things out there, and that's where our disconnect is, because Michael's like, is it red or is it white? Is it sweet or is it dry?
Michael,
like that's all he's gonna ask.
I get along with both of you on so many different levels.
I'm just gonna ask you if you like it and if I should like it.
Yeah. So
I do not like sweet wine.
But to answer your question, when it comes to spirits and beer, I think we're pretty aligned.
You're pretty aligned.
Yeah.
Even though you're getting different flavors, I think that's unique. I think.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, we're pretty aligned. She does not like IPAs when I'll do an IPA.
Oh my God, that's bitter beer face all day long. Oh my God.
There's an actual study that shows if you like an IPA, you're a little bit of a sociopath, or at least share some of the the traits of. But I don't think it's true. I think sociopath has such a negative connotation.
Yeah. No. So if a beer is really hoppy, that's gonna be Michael.
Okay. Are you more of a dark Guinness beer type of person?
Oh, I don't like Guinness either.
No, she will do
We'll do a brown ale.
she'll do a brown ale or a light lager.
I am a person that enjoys my dark beers, and I don't know why. I have never done the research. I just know what I like. Obviously, you guys have both alluded to that earlier, depending on the situation. If I'm on a beach, I'm not pulling out a Guinness.
Right.
If I'm at a lake, I'm not pulling out a Guinness. If I'm at home or I'm at a cabin in the woods in Tennessee somewhere, listening to who's that artist who makes really, really bad whiskey? Stapleton.
Hey, no.
Yeah, that would be a great it'd be a great beer drinking and sitting in bourbon and whiskey and music. I could do that in a cabin. We would also, but if I'm on a beach, I'm sorry, to me, a beach is a Corona and a lime.
Exactly. Corona and lime max, maybe a Miller Lite.
See, if I'm on a beach, I want a vodka soda.
Really?
Yes, because
Dolly, we have talked about your flavor profile. You picked zero flavor? Come on.
No. Because I love the beach to where I'm the person who will lay out in the sun for 9 to 10 hours a day. So I need the alcohol, but I also need the water to keep me hydrated. So I will do a vodka. Am I lying? I'll do a vodka all day. I will.
No, I don't doubt you, but I think Michael and I would be hanging out somewhere else while you do the water.
Coronas and limes and lots of them and lots.
So you if you knew my friends, like I said, when I was in Israel for the year, anytime I could get to the beach, I would, and I will be on the beach all day. I'm that person who will lay my blanket out at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you will not bring me back in until the sun sets.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually so much would love to have a separate talk about like Israel and beaches, because I think that would be a whole different fucking podcast.
Yeah.
But
they're beautiful.
Are they really?
They are beautiful.
I'm
Tel Aviv, Haifa, Herzliya, they're beautiful.
Well, now I'm jealous. Not once again, this twice I'm jealous on the show, and this is probably a record time.
Yeah, no, they're beautiful. Yeah.
So we talked about kind of the deep knowledge of the beers, wine, spirits, and what you disconnect and where you don't disconnect, or where you do connect. You're not a big you're not a big beer drinker, Dolly. Michael, what's the beer distiller, a brewery, or beer that you think should be on everyone's app?
Wow.
Heavy, I know, right?
I know that's huge. You know what? I can't pick one more than another.
Give me three.
But I'll tell you what. I'll give you my most recent discovery and tell you why I think it's so cool. Okay. So most recent discovery, I found a brewery down the street called G34.3. Crazy name. Got it. Sounds weird. Actually went there with my son and we were checking them out, just having a good time and talking to the owners and whatever. Anyway, G34.3, if you look up the story, you can Google it while you're on your computer there, is a space cloud of booze. In 1995, it was discovered. So that whole brewery is space themed and obviously beer themed. That's probably my coolest recent discovery as kind of.
What was your favorite pour there?
So there was the.
Can't just skate by a whole brewery and now tell me which one I should pour.
It was their dark. And I couldn't remember the name of it, but
Are you sure you don't like dark beers like me, Michael? Because
I do like dark beers.
Well, it
was a very Guinness-like pour.
See my fiance.
It was a very Guinness-like pour, a very a dark.
So they have an Irish dry in whiskey. This Horizon on Nitro.
Is that what you're talking about? It was the Nitro. It was the Nitro. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a Horizon Nitro. They've been
Arthur, your computer skills are fantastic.
Yeah. See, I need another monitor.
I will show you later. It's Untapped Community Awards winner of 2023.
Yes.
It scored a 3.961 in 2023. All right, Event Horizon. Well, I love that movie. So definitely.
And they actually did something the other day I thought was cool. I wish I could have went back for it. They had like a panel of astronauts and physicists that came there. And of course, you drink beer and talk to a bunch of NASA scientists. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have went there and brought my son just to hear some of the stuff. Because, again, love space, love the whole thing. But it's a cool brewery. That's got to be one of my finds that if you get a chance, try those guys out. Great brewery.
Do they deliver? Because I'm in Florida.
Must have that you can find on a shelf anywhere.
Yeah.
I would say, and I hope you can find this in Florida, Flying Dog.
Oh,
You're a Flying Dog?
I'm not a beer drinker, so you are putting me on some stuff I have not heard of.
Okay, so two. I'll give you two. Flying Dog or Dogfish Head?
I've had Dogfish Head. I fucking love.
Okay, so Dogfish Head, and I'll give you the same kind of wedding story here, right? That you kind of gave earlier. So Dogfish Head, they make a 120 IPA every year, and
that's ridiculously hard to find.
It is hard to find, and it's expensive, and all those things. But as part of our vows and our wedding ceremony, the guy that did our officiating for our wedding, he gave us 2 bottles of Dogfish Head 120 IPA, the current year and the previous year. And he said, drink the previous years as a celebration of you two getting married. And then a year from now, drink this year's. You drink it in a year and try it. And basically he did a speech about how your love has evolved and the flavors have matured and all these kind of things. So he tied it all to beer. It was fantastic. It was great. I could never do it as well as he did.
Do you feel our mother's eyes rolling right now? They're like, what?
Yeah, my mom would. I never shared any of my podcasts with my mom because she would be like, "You drink way too goddamn much."
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be like that. I'm gonna share this link with all of our mothers, the bourbon and beer and everything else. No, but I think that's cool. I looked up on Beer Finder because I was trying to find the other, not the Dogfish Head.
Flying Dog.
I was trying to find Flying Dog, which has bat wings as a.
Yes,
it's not available in Florida, so I will find friends in Virginia who could send that to me.
So even though I'm not a beer person, I do appreciate that other people and my friends like it. Do you have Troegs in Florida? Troegs. It's out of Pennsylvania.
I will find out right now. Troves.
No, Troegs.
I don't think so. I've never heard of that. No, I have never heard of this. No.
But did you find it?
Yes, I did.
Online? Yeah.
Yes. Do they deliver?
Do they?
I don't know. They probably should. They're a pretty big brand too.
But even their Troganator will put you on your ass. Just so you know.
I verified on their website. They do not deliver. They do not have anything near me. So.
Oh my gosh. So here's 2 things.
Problem, man. Florida, as much as we love Florida for the whiskey that you guys might think we have all access to, after the show, I will let you know a little bit inside of why I have access to as much as I do.
Okay.
So I will tell you, Flying Dog and Troegs, 2 good brands you should try. Troegs is a good beer brand, and she's right. You drink the higher proof stuff that'll get you. Flying Dog is actually an innovator in the alcohol space. I mean, we all know this a little bit about prohibition laws and some of the kind of rules and the craziness that is dealt with between spirits and beer and the 1920s and 30s, right? So Flying Dog actually is one of the pioneers in this space because, as you saw, the bat wings and their art that they did on there.
Yeah.
If you've looked up some of the names of their bottles, they actually fought 2 lawsuits, one against Michigan and one against, I think it's Colorado, it was a First Amendment lawsuit that they fought in reference to the art on their bottles and the naming of their bottles. And they won, and that's why they can continue the names. And that's why they have beers called like Raging Bitch. And
I love that name. Royal Crush, Deep Fake, Snake Dog.
Yes.
Bloodline. I like their brands so far.
So it is a local brand to us, but they have been bought out, and I think they're a larger subsidiary now. But they are a fantastic brand.
After the show, we're gonna have to coordinate some deliveries because I think this is a really great brand. Well, guys, I know I don't want to wrap up, but I'm certain it is about that time for you guys to wrap up. You have a life outside of here. If you ever want to be back, obviously you're welcome back. You guys are super interesting.
No, we
Everything
appreciate
done.
you.
Love you, Arthur.
We're not out here yet, Dolly. You're not done with me. Like, we want to make sure you guys are good. I'm going to wrap up. Obviously, we're going to talk about where you can find the bar book. Everyone can find the websites. I want you to plug all your socials. I want to do all that, but I'm going to leave you with one of the hardest questions you'll get in almost any podcast, aside from which one's your favorite, because obviously it's me. We don't need to answer that. If it's you have to tell beer, spirit, wine, you have to tell a listener right now something they need to try and has not been on their normal radar. I want you both to say what. I don't care what spirit it is. I don't give a shit if you tell me it's a cherry wine. I don't care. We're gonna start with Michael because he keeps looking at Dolly for answers. Michael,
No, I know my answer. And
what's your number one? Everyone should try. That's not on everyone's radar. Don't give me a Woodsford. Don't give me anything.
Nope.
Don't give me a Casamigos. What is one thing? If I am going to the liquor store and I'm saying, hey, I need to try something new.
Go buy it right now, and you'll thank me for it later.
Yeah.
Is go buy Four Branches bourbon. Go try it. I'm telling you, they spent a lot of time talking with the right people and the right master distillers and putting that brand together. I mean, forget the military ties, forget the brand recognition and who all they've got as brand ambassadors, and just try it for the flavor and the taste, and you'll thank me for it later. Go try it.
Four Branches bourbon, straight up, just their introductory line.
That's it. They only have one. They do a founder's blend. They only have one. Just do that, and I'm telling you, you'll appreciate it. All
right, fantastic. I love that for the listeners. If you haven't tried it, sure as shit. I taxed right off, so I'll go ahead and order that. Dolly, no, are you hot? Wait, are you Holly at this point?
Not yet.
Oh, shit.
But my toes are beginning to tingle.
We got another hour going.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna go vodka.
Ooh. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I have to tell the story behind this so people understand where I'm coming from.
Go for it.
We were traveling in Tennessee. As you just heard, I like vodka sodas when I want to drink, but stay hydrated and not get, hungover and all the other stuff. And we were at a bar, a very famous bar that I won't mention. And my favorite vodka, my favorite to-go vodka is Grey Goose. Okay. And I was like, do you have Grey Goose? And they're like, no, we don't, but we have this vodka called 360. And I'm like, never heard of it.
I've seen that.
Yeah. It's like, never heard of it. They said it's very comparable to Grey Goose. And I was like, okay, whatever, but I'll try it. Right. And I tried it and I liked it. And if you can't afford the higher price points and you have 360 in your area, I say try 360 vodka, because I literally almost fainted and my knees buckled when we went into the we went into the liquor store and went to the vodka section, and 360 vodka was on the shelf for $13. Now let's think about that. Vodka for $13. See your face? You're like,
cheap
what?
As hell. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And usually that's a bad thing. I appreciate 360 even more.
That's Skull or Spoloff or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually Smirnoff might be more. But I appreciate it even more because since we're in Northern Virginia, we can't find it. I have to travel to Maryland to get it or travel to other states. But if you want an affordable everyday vodka that's not going to give you the headache, it's not going to make you regret your life the next morning, 360 vodka is the way to go.
That's fantastic. I'm glad that you shared that.
Yes.
Two very, very different spirits.
And it's
obviously
got a cool bottle as well. It's the bottle is what's that little thing?
It's a recyclable pop top thing.
It's crazy. No, it's like the tops for like the old milk bottles and stuff. That's the top of the vodka bottle.
Typically that's where I keep my like freezer drinks. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So I'm looking at them right now. They have variety of flavors.
Looking at 360?
Yeah. I'm a nerd.
I
The
was-
moment you mention a name, I go ahead and like go shoot right over the
No,
site.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And had never heard of it except for traveling to a different state.
That's actually fantastic. And it's interesting because I know we talked about like what you can find in your state, and without like 360 is one of those like you can probably get readily available.
And it doesn't have the burn. So everybody knows that the cheaper vodkas, and I'm not trying to be mean, but they have an aftertaste, and like
We're mean on this show now. Remember, we're all bougie, including Michael.
No, but you try some of the cheaper vodkas and it hurts. Like it literally, like it hurts.
All the cheaper spirits hurt. I didn't buy 151 because I liked it. I bought it because I was broken 19 and shouldn't have had it.
But 360,
and it would get you there faster.
But 360 doesn't do that. I'm telling you, everybody needs to try 360 vodka.
Yeah, I not gonna lie to you, this went under my radar. I worked in like we sold liquor on one of my industries before, and 360 was always like, oh, those are unique flavors. It just feels kind of weird. Like, why are we selling grape vodka, double chocolate, and all these random ones? I'd seen it.
No, we didn't do that. We didn't do the flavors.
I'm just talking about the original.
Oh no, I know, but when I see like the straight up flavors, I assume worse of the regular vodkas.
Sure.
No.
Sure.
Like it was unfair of me. But when you see like 99 bananas, I don't assume their regular shit tastes great. Like I'd be like, if you're making these many flavors, it's not that great. Like if you have to mask, we talked about it earlier. If I have to mask the flavors, this is trash.
You won't have to mask 360.
That's fantastic. Good to know. And I'm going to probably order 4 branches since it's pretty close to my home. I probably could just walk into the distillery next week and just be like, hey, Michael told me I have to come here. Like
you should. You know what? Here's what I'll tell you. If you can get into where they're at and you can get, somewhere close and you can talk to some of those guys that are hanging out down in Florida, tell them the Bar Book guy sent you there. Tell them Mike from the Bar Book sent you, and take a picture with one of them and send it back to me.
Oh, I'm not shy at all. I might do that very
easily.
Who knows? I'm free all the time.
Listen, they don't pay me for anything, but I love that brand and I love those guys. So that's awesome.
And I love that. I love the fact, and we talked about it. I'm not speaking for you guys, but I'm a smaller content creator. So supporting small businesses and stuff like this that's lesser known, I'm 100% for. I'd much rather feature their product than E.H. Taylor. I'd much rather have them on than I don't know, Heaven Hill or someone like that. Sure. Even though Heaven Hill, well, they do some good stuff. I'm not gonna take away from them. They're not Stapleton level, obviously. Gotta be those jokes. But guys, Dolly, I'm gonna start with you. This feels right. If you have anything to want to say to the listeners, anyone listening, anyone out there, following subscribers, plug anything that you got going on that might be individual from the Bar Book, or you can put it together.
This is where I'm the good, dutiful wife, and I look to my husband and say, baby, how would you like to close this out?
Michael, how would you like to close this out for the Bar Book? And one of the most dynamic, I'm gonna stop you.
Go ahead.
One of the best dynamic duos I've seen in a long time. I love my fiance. She's a fantastic producer. If she could, she'd be in this corner shooting you questions over my shoulder because I have the memory of a goldfish, and she is great about this. So there's a harmony here that is unspoken, and I think it's fantastic. And I 100% love and appreciate what you guys are doing together. I think this is great. And the fact that you found a common passion and drove it to this level, I got to commend you. But Michael, it's not your logo, but how would you like to close this?
I'll move back so you can see the whole
No, get back in the frame. You are equal in this.
No, so what I would say, Arthur, is obviously none of this is possible without us working together as a team. So she knows that she is 100% my partner, my advocate, and everything in the Bar Book. What I would say is, to everybody out there listening, wanting to know about the Bar Book, we launched it literally
March 9th.
March 9th.
I was one of the first.
Yeah, it hit the Apple App Store March 9th. It is going to be on the Google App Store in this coming week. So depending on when this airs, it'll be out or close thereof.
And don't be mad at us because I'm a dirty droid girl like everybody else. And
you should have. I wouldn't have had this interview. Take her back. Go.
This is our app. This is our app, and even I can't get it on my phone, but she can go on the website as well. But it's coming.
That's true. So it is online, obviously at the barbook.co. The app is on the Apple Store. Google is coming soon, and no apparent reason. We just chose to go Apple first, and then Google is second, and then
it should be.
We're well aware there are some bugs out there as we're launching. As with any new product, we are fixing them rapidly. We appreciate the feedback from everybody. Keep it coming. Keep following us on our social media channels at the Bar Book. Let us know what you think. And again, thanks, Arthur, for letting us on this show to talk about it, share some fun times, drink some great whiskey, and talk about some other stuff that we didn't know we were going to talk about.
And in less than 10 years, we're all going to be at the Bar Book Bowl.
Well, that would be
I'm there for it.
Roll Tide.
I want this to be the official. I got told I'm getting like box seats.
Yes.
You are getting box seats. So here's what I'll tell you. I will put that in writing tomorrow, today, the next day. Look, man, if we have the Bar Book Bowl, Arthur and your beautifully fiance are coming with us to the game.
She'll be my wife at that point. Thank God.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me say this. Yes. If she's still your fiance, you are not coming.
Because then by then it would be like fair. 20 years.
That's fair. I'm not going to be mad at that. I would be judging myself. I was like, what am I doing? Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate you getting on the show. For anyone who's listening, definitely download the Bar Book. As you heard, as always, Android comes second, but please make sure that you download that app.
Saving the best for last.
You have to get it right? That's what it is. Perfection comes last. Yeah. We want to make sure that you download that, support them. I think so far it's been fantastic. And I honestly also enjoy bringing to the table things that I've tried because of the industry that I'm in and the side hustle that I'm in. I'm able to give kind of clarity. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time on certain things, or, hey, this is absolutely worth it. So if you have not tried it, please do. I think that it's great to build this community similar to any social media network, and being able to do that in a way that spirits are forward. Because you know how we do at Bourbon and Bullshit. We'd like to fuck around and put spirits forward, because once we get to that second hour, it gets a lot looser and more fun. For anyone who has not followed them, Michael, where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, anywhere at the Bar Book, on Facebook, Instagram, and X.
And X. I forget that they renamed it. I'm still not used to it.
Yeah, I know. Twitter, X.
I feel like it's DMX rapping about some shit or something. I don't know. Elon's a big DMX fan. You can find me on Instagram, which is my most active socials, because I am a very common old man and I don't have much knowledge about how to use my thumbs on internet. At bourbon_and_BS, because I'm not allowed to curse that much on Instagram. And you'll also find the link to our TikTok, where I'm putting drink recipes, drink of the days, which seems to be a hit. People want to learn how to make whiskey sours. Most recently, I covered my 7 deadly sins bar cocktail menu, where we featured every single sin or virtue in a different context of a cocktail. So if you're interested in that, please do check us out. Tell us you like it. Tell us what you want. Tell us what you don't want. I'm going to let you know, and I'm going to break it down for you. But sloth is just me pouring whiskey straight into a glass, because that's lazy. And as always, make sure you click like, subscribe, and share with your friends, to the Patreons. I appreciate everything you do. You guys brought us new monitor mounts. You brought us new mic mounts. You brought us new all equipment, and making it so we can do what we can. And we're going to be rolling out video content much more often. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys. Make sure that you do not ever text your ex. It's St. Patrick's Day. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid, and hang out with your friends. And to the Bar Book and us, thanks for hanging out. Bye, guys. Bye. Hey, guys. Today's episode is brought to you by Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had. From flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business, I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Byrne Termite and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Byrne Termite and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.